Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Carl Motter, and I'm your Elm Fork District Chair, and I welcome you to the 2024 Elm Fork District Scout Leader and Eagle Appreciation Dinner. During the dinner tonight, we'll have a chance to honor the 2024 Eagle Scout recipients in the Elm Fork District, as well as recognize a few of the outstanding adult leaders who have made significant contributions of time, effort, and talent during this past year to scouting. Frequently, scouts are so busy learning, experiencing, talking, or playing that they forget to stop and say thank you to their adult leaders. So tonight, we all welcome all adult leaders and give you a big thanks for all that you do, your hard work and commitment to providing quality programs for the youth in our district. As we begin dinner tonight, we'd like to thank Kyle Hare, Frank Cole, and Eunice Cruz for putting together tonight's event. We also recognize my new district executive, Christian Jones, senior district executive with Circle 10 Council, who's joining us tonight. Later on in the program, Christian's going to recognize our district officers for 2025 and our Order of the Arrow chapter officers and advisors for 2025. And now the scouts from Troop 838 will lead us in the presentation of the colors, the Pledge of Allegiance, the Scout Oath, and the Scout Law. Scouts, please advance.
Post the colors.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Two. Please join us in the Scout Oath and Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, and mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Honor Guard dismissed.
So at this time, let's please give respects and prepare ourselves for a meal. And please prepare yourself in the way that you're used to and honoring of your faithful leader. Dear Heavenly Father, please bring us here tonight. Please bless this food for the nourishments of our bodies, our minds, and our souls. Please help to pray for those that help prepare the meal, that are serving the meal, and that we may be the recipient of your praise and glory. And we say this in your name. Please be seated. Okay, I hope you continue to keep eating. We're going to go ahead and start the program. If anyone would like seconds, please feel free. And also, Mr. Cole has said there's an abundance of desserts, so please do not leave any behind. I'm going to challenge all the Eagle Scouts to at least take 2 portions before they go. Hope everyone tonight enjoys. We did have a change with our food service, so instead of Babe's Chicken, we tried barbecue. Did everybody seem to enjoy it tonight? Good. So tonight we're going to celebrate, as I said earlier, the many and well-deserving Cub Scouts BSA venturing and exploring leaders, as well as the Scouts who earned the rank of Eagle during 2024. So when we're calling this evening for awards, I'd like for people who are receiving awards to come up on the right and then proceed to the left so that we can continue the flow as we're moving traffic in one direction. And at some point, we're also going to have a photographer that's going to take pictures with some of the groups of the award recipients. So the activities of Scouting are enjoyable, but the real purpose of Scouting is to help our youth develop character and leadership, and to learn to make ethical choices and a positive contribution to our communities. So tonight, I would like to introduce and invite our Deputy Council Scout Executive, Kevin Patterson, to address us. Kevin.
Thank you, Carl. Can everybody hear me? Yes. All right, perfect. Oh, online can't hear me? So the echo might be... Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm very honored to be here tonight, and I do recognize a few faces. I've already said hi to a number of folks, and I really look forward to what Scouting has to offer in Circle 10 and across the nation. But let me give you a brief history of, I guess it is history because it was last year, 2024 in Circle 10 Council. Just a few highlights to get started. So last year, we ended the year with about 32,000 scouts in Circle 10 Council and about 8,000 adults. So those 32,000 scouts received program from you all and others like you throughout our Circle 10 Council. We have 26 districts. We go a little bit into southeast Oklahoma and then down to the Athens area. Not quite to Tyler, but 26 counties in northwest Texas. So you have a lot of company out there, but I will say that having served the 32,000 people with the Scouting program this last year, it in a lot of cases went very, very well. We had 325,000 camper days at our summer camps. So we have 4 camps. Camp James Ray, Camp Constantine, which is out on Possum Kingdom Lake, Camp Wisdom here in the city of Dallas, and then Camp Trevor Reese Jones or Clement Scout Ranch, depending on who you are, same place, and that's near Athens. So, and Camp James Ray is there in Lake Texoma. So 325,000 camper days. So that means if a scout went there for a week, or summer camp, that was 6 days. So that's 6 camper days. But 325,000 is a lot. So we're very excited about continuing the use of our properties. Right now we are just starting a generations campaign, a capital campaign to add even more assets and redo some of our camp properties. So we'll be sharing more about that later. Not tonight, but certainly in this next year or so, we'll announce that to the public. But we're working on kind of the initial phases of that campaign right now, so it's going very well. Circle 10 Council has 18 districts right now. You are one of them, Elm Fork District, and you're one of our top districts, by the way. We typically see a pretty strong training statistic out of Elm Fork. You guys do a good job of that. Do a good day camp. David, thank you for that. Appreciate that. And then we have a lot of volunteers out there that are engaged in council level activities as well. It's not just units. So how many people do district and council level activities as well? So probably about a third of you. So, right. Those district people actually help and they support unit level people. How many people participate in unit level program, even if you're a district person? So most of the room, and I'm sure we have some special guests. It's super important that everybody here understand the value you have, and I'm going to talk more about that later in my little conversation here, but I first want to talk a little bit about some of the things that scouting brings to our communities. So in Circle 10 this last year, we had 650 plus or minus, because there's a couple that are still being settled, Eagle Scouts, which is a pretty good amount. On average, an Eagle Scout project in Circle 10 Council is about 150 service hours. And then you multiply that out dollar-wise, so the market value of that dollar. So it ends up being nearly $3 million back to the community in just Eagle Scout service projects alone. Now add to that all the service projects your Cub Scout packs do, your Scout troops do, your venturing crews do, and then as a district, you might be participating in Day of Service coming up here in a week or so on the 8th or that weekend. So imagine the amount of service hours going back to our community. Scouting, as you know, has value not just to our community as a whole, but certainly our families. And let me share a few things about scouting and the value of scouting that you help contribute to. So scouting, if you're a youth, and I heard somebody talking about laundry actually, and let me share why that's important. So how many scouts, when they went through their scouting, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, or Scouts BSA venturing, and then they go to college? I remember this personally, so that's why I'm sharing this story, because I heard it tonight from one of you. They had their scout, knew how to do laundry, not only the machine, how to put it in, but the drying and all that. They happened to be standing on the same, or in the same laundry room that other people, other college students happened to go to, or they were there doing their laundry, and they couldn't figure out how to operate the machine. So this scout ended up having, one of your children out there, ended up having to help everybody in the laundry room. Where did they learn it? Scouting. Now, they learned their first laundry at Philmont. Everybody know what Philmont laundry happens at Philmont out on the trail? Remember that? Little buckets and plungers and that kind of thing. So, that's one attribute. Certainly all the things that Scouts do, not just community service, but leadership. So imagine the amount of leadership it took for those 11 astronauts, all of them Scouts, 11 of the 12 astronauts that have walked on the moon or been to the moon, all Scouts. And I forget how many were Eagles. I don't know if it was all 11 or most of them, maybe one of you know. But I know the vast majority of them were Eagle Scouts. Apollo 13, we all saw the movie, right? Eagle Scouts. Jim Lovell. His leadership, his skills, the things he learned in scouting. And you might remember that movie quote that, I forget the gentleman that was, not Buzz Aldrin, but there was a gentleman and the quote was that, "Don't worry, he's an Eagle Scout." That was actually in the movie. So leadership, the values that we hold in scouting, the values of family, the values of determination, grit. How many of us now wonder what is the future of our country going to be? I think we do. However, I see a lot of youth in this audience. I would put these youth up against any youth in this country, and they will be the future of this country, and I'm comfortable with that. I think they have what it takes. They have the grit. Why? Because they've learned the values of scouting from you and from the curriculum that we use and the opportunities they have. I was talking to another leader here, and we're talking about the COPE course at Trevor Reese Jones and at Camp Wisdom and what that can do. Well, a COPE course, Challenging Outdoor Personal Experience, involves things like zip lines, climbing walls, 2 cable traverses, trust falls, climbing up things on harness. And while that's all neat and exciting, what does that do for you personally? Well, what that does, it tests your limits. It pushes the boundaries. It instills grit. And even if you're afraid, you still persevere. A value of scouting. Leadership. Think of how many of our young people learn the skills of leadership and the opportunities they have, not just in college, but in their future workforce. What do they bring to those workplaces? Some of our folks, for the first time at Camp Constantine, they might be doing welding merit badge. My son's one of them. And he's like, this is pretty cool. And so he's thinking about, I don't know if he will, but he's thinking about going into welding. He would have never had that experience had he not been a scout at Camp Constantine trying welding. Am I right? I'm right, aren't I? Yeah? So I'm pointing to the youth. They're experiencing that. Scouting has what it takes to deliver a positive future for our country. Let me share a story about adults in scouting, the volunteers in scouting. So, me being in some call them military brats, but I was raised in the military. My father was in the Air Force, and we traveled around to multiple bases. I think on average we stayed probably 2.5, 3 years at a location, and then we'd move to another base. My first summer camp was in Camp Aladog in Ankara, Turkey, at the base of Mount Ararat. Okay? We didn't have dining halls. We drew rations from a GP medium tent. We took a C-130 from Izmir, flew to Ankara. We sat in those web seats. We had this orange stuff you stuck in your ears and all that, so you couldn't hear the propellers and all that. That was my first summer camp. How cool is that? I remember it like it was yesterday. But what I remember more are the leaders that I walked with and that walked with me during my scouting career. My first leader was my mother. Back then we called them den mothers. And so I think it was Thursday afternoon, they come over to our house and we do whatever craft or activity that we do, and we enjoyed that. I have pictures, a little embarrassing of course when you're dressed in Indian costumes or whatever it is back in the day, but my mom was my first leader, and then the scout leaders. In Turkey, one of the scout leaders, Sergeant Ron Jumps, he was scoutmaster. I remember his name today, and that was a few years ago. I remember Colonel Merkel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was a scoutmaster there. Full-bird colonel, he had 2 sons in the program. He chose to be scoutmaster, and we would do all kinds of things. We were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so we go to Bandelier National Monument and all that. He took his time out to be with us every month going camping. I remember Spring Camporee, where we're out, we thought in the Manzano Mountains, it's spring, it's May in New Mexico, no problem, right? Well, that didn't happen that way. So we get to the mountain, we're probably 3 or 4 troops are in. We have a Chevy Blazer, the full-size one with 4-wheel drive, the only one 4-wheel drive. We get in, we start setting up camp, we go for a hike. It starts to rain a little bit, not a big deal, right? We go into the caves there, very cool. We come out, we feel like it's gotten a little cooler, but maybe it's just the after effect of the cave, right? No, it really was starting to get colder. And it's weird, we didn't see more troops coming in, but that was before cell phones, and we didn't have radios with us. So it started getting dark. There was one more troop that had come in, and we thought, wow, this is going to be a small camporee. And then suddenly the temperature dropped, and we started seeing snowflakes. Well, it wasn't just a few snowflakes. By midnight, there was over 3 feet of snow on the ground, We had a tent with a center pole that, those big solid wood ones that, I call it a circus tent, but they're military tent and they have a solid wood tent pole in the middle. It broke with the weight of the snow. In the morning, cutting the story short a little bit, we got out and our blazer was mostly buried. None of the tents, all of the scouts ended up, because we had set up our little tents, we went into the bigger tent, what was the troop tent, and that's where we stayed the night. The tent pole broke. We ended up digging out our blazer. He put chains on because he left them, the scoutmaster left them in his truck all the time. And he drove out. He got Bernalillo County Search and Rescue and had to bring people back. We evacuated the troops that were there. Our troops stayed at my parents' place. And then the next week we had to go back and get all our equipment because it all melted. It's 3 feet of snow. But I will tell you, I remember that like it was yesterday. The spring camporee, but again, grit, fortitude, experience, leadership, all of those things that you hold dear and our scouts learn, they're going to remember that for a lifetime. I remember all of our leaders that I experienced, right? Are you going to probably remember your scoutmaster and your scoutmaster? You're going to remember them. Think about the power of that. You're impacting thousands of lives. How many years, who here has been a scoutmaster or a scout leader for like 5 years? Oh, so most of the room, okay? How many people in your troop?
About 60.
60. Times, let's say it was 5 years. How many years?
How many years have I been doing it?
Yeah.
About 12.
12. Okay. My math. That's 720 scouts just in your troops, not including anybody else that you have run into or had an impact on. 720 people you've had a direct impact on for the rest of their life. As an adult leader, the value you have for this program and for the lives of these youth is immeasurable. Think about that for a second. 720. Now, those that have been in scouting even longer, I know Steve right there has been in scouting just a little bit longer than that, right, Steve?
40 years.
40 years. Do you have any idea how many youth you've touched?
177 Eagle Scouts.
177 Eagle Scouts, okay, then how big were the troops and how many troops did you go through?
90, 70. I have a troop for like 30. I have a brand new troop.
Yeah. So in other words, thousands and thousands of people Steve has had direct influence over. The legacy you all hold is beyond measure as adult volunteers in scouting. It truly is. Thousands of people, Steve, nearly 1,000 right here. I mean, if we added up all the volunteer hours and the impact just in this room, it probably, with the extensions of family and the people you impact through that, it wouldn't surprise me if it was half the population of Dallas in numbers. So imagine what you all do on an annual basis out there having an impact on a child. I remember my experiences. How many were scouts as a kid? If you're an adult, do you remember yours? Do you remember yours? Yes, everybody. The legacy that you have can't be measured. The impact you have cannot be measured. And in some cases, you might be an adult role model for a child that only had one parent. Or in some cases, I've even known people that they didn't have parents, but that scout leader was their adult role model, the person they fashioned their life after. They were in foster homes all the time. So I'm here to tell you the value that you have instilled in our young people. They don't know, My son doesn't know. He's like, oh, I got to go to Scouts again. But I can tell you, a decade from now, 2 decades from now, he's going to remember the things he learned at Philmont or the things he learned at Colorado Bend State Park. And when the water started coming in and the river rose by 3 feet in less than 30 minutes, he'll remember that because he was fishing in it. So he had a lot of fun. And we moved quickly, let's put it that way. So, I want to say thank you for what you have done. I want to say thank you for what you will do. But let me close it out by Rex Tillerson. Anybody who was at the Leaders and Legends event in November, right? It was November. So Rex Tillerson, a fantastic scouter. He's the former president and CEO and chairman of ExxonMobil. He was the U.S. Secretary of State. He was the national president of the Boy Scouts of America. His dad was a scout executive. He's an Eagle Scout and loves scouting. He attributes where he has gone in life to scouting. And he closed out the Leaders and Legends event. So Rex, if you ever see this is your stuff, but I'm going to do my best to represent it. He closes out the meeting like this. He talks about the values of the Scout Oath and Law. And in today's world, we all know the amount of, we'll just call it stuff, going on in the world today, in this country, and the things we have to deal with. And the fray is immeasurable in a lot of ways for our young people today. But he said, and he's always believed this, if you just take the values of the Scout Oath, duty to God, duty to country, duty to self, and you kind of prop that underneath what you're standing on. So it's kind of a stool. It raises you above the fray, above the crowd, just a little bit, maybe a foot or two. So you get to survey the scene, right? So they can see it. So now they have a little bit of a leg up, and then the Scout Law comes in. And it's a guardrail that fits all around the scout. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. That's your guardrail. Now you're above everybody, and you have a foundation that you can hold on to. Use that foundation daily, young people, but imagine the power that gives them above all other youth, their peers. Their peers don't have that. You, adult leaders, have provided that. Scouting has provided that. Rex went on to say, and he does this, he said, even today, right, Teresa? This is what he says. He closes every day with Scout Vespers. And like Rex, I can't really sing much, so I'm not gonna sing. But he said, softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently, each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? Thank you.
Really excited that Kevin was able to share these inspirational words with us. As many of you would well know, youth participate in the Scout program, and most of you see the program that's presented at the unit level and don't always see the things that happen behind the scenes that help Scouting program to be strong and vibrant. Take a few minutes to discuss some of the efforts of the district committee in these regards. One of the things that Elm Fork District can be proud of having accomplished during 2024 is bringing hundreds of new youth into the Scout program last fall through our school night for scouting events. Membership growth is important so that as many youth as possible can benefit from the lessons taught in scouting. We'd like to begin with the recognition portion of the dinner tonight by asking anyone who is on the membership team that helped during the school night for scouting to please stand in appreciation for the difference that this service has made, and please join me in a round of applause. Thank you for your service in bringing scouting into the lives of hundreds of young people. Another really important element is having a healthy scout program that's built on solid finances. The reality is that it costs money to run scouting, and the goal is to provide a highly effective program at a price that's accessible to the greatest number of youth. There are multiple ways our district works with Circle 10 Council to help bridge the gap. Much of the scouting program is not carried, or much of the cost of the scouting program is not carried by the individual scouts or families, but instead is covered by the council. Additionally, many do not know that their dues paid to scouting does not go to the council, but rather to national. So these costs that are covered by council help provide those who attend summer camp to pay only half of what it actually costs the council to provide that camp. Another example is that more than 10,000 low-income youth who would otherwise never learn the Scout Oath and Law benefit from the ability to join scouting and have a portion of their unit level expenses paid by Circle 10's Scout Reach program. Elm Fork District can be proud of having raised this year more than $189,067 through the Friends of Scouting campaign in 2024. Friends of Scouting is the single largest source of funds for the council operations, including our camps and Scout Reach. Would all those who were involved with the Friends of Scouting program in 2024, either as table hosts, unit coordinators, family program presenters for Friends of Scouting, please stand. Another really important program in our district is popcorn. This past year, we sold more than $426,838. A portion of those funds goes back to Circle 10 Council, and a portion goes back directly to the local PACs and troops. I would be remiss if I didn't call out our popcorn colonel and all those who assisted in popcorn. Please stand. This gentleman works tirelessly on this program and deserves all of our thanks. Thank you all for your level of service. Thank you for the service that you're frequently doing behind the scenes. It does make everything possible for all those that are involved in scouting. Let's all give each other one more round of applause. In addition to membership, recruitment, finances, and service, time is a massive contribution made by all the adult leaders to scouting. We spend much of this evening's program recognizing leaders that have contributed significant time, effort, and energy to the Scout program. First, we want to recognize unit level leaders who on a daily basis carry the program directly to the over 2,100 youth of our community. You work directly with those youth and thus have the most direct influence on their lives. Of all those who give of their time to implement the Scout program, we want to thank you first. Please listen as I call your position and invite you to stand. Would all the leaders present tonight who are members of a new unit please stand and remain standing? Would all new Cub Masters, Scout Masters, crew advisors who began their service in 2024 please also stand and remain standing? If you are a new committee chairperson for your unit, please stand and remain standing. Now, would all of our experienced Cub Masters, Scout Masters, crew advisors, and unit committee chairs please also stand? I also believe tonight we have some of our chartered organizational representatives. Would you please stand? Let's thank all of these leaders with a round of applause for their great contribution of time. Thank you. Please have a seat. We also want to recognize those who serve at the district level. I've been serving on the district committee for a few years now, and a while ago somebody asked me, what does the district committee do? For my friend and others who don't really see what we do, we are responsible for delivering the scouting program in our geographic area: Carrollton, Farmers Branch, North Dallas, and Addison. And as Kevin eloquently explained, there are 18 districts in our council. We provide support on a larger scale than the individual units can, but on a smaller scale than the council. So in essence, I'm kind of mid-management. We host training courses, camporees, Cub Day camps, roundtables, Eagle boards of reviews, and other events that would be difficult for the individual units to execute themselves. I'd like to recognize those who have served on the district committee in 2024. I'll begin with the operating chairs. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. And if you'll hold your applause between them, we'll give them all a round of applause at the end. Unfortunately tonight, my district commissioner, Mark Avery, cannot attend. I'd like to ask our district executive, Kristen Jones. My activities chair, Michael P. Johnson. My advancement chair, Malik Nathani. My camping chair, Joel Ostenbrook. My training chair, Anila Modi. My communications chair, presently standing in the back, Kyle Hare. Membership chairs, Eunice Cruz and April Rivas. My Friends of Scouting chair cannot make it tonight, Colin McNeese. Don't see my Friends of Scouting, family Friends of Scouting, Renee Jansen. Nominating chair is Nancy Burke here. Order of the Arrow chapter chair is also Kyle Hare. Order of Arrow chapter chiefs, beginning was with Griffith Goodnow, Oliver Burke, and soon to be our new Order of the Arrow chief, Shiva Godaris. And my assistant district commissioner for Roundtable, Carl Woods. Also, anyone who has been on the district committee and served as a member, now and in the past, please stand. And then also all of our at-large members of the district committees, please stand. These people have contributed countless hours, most of them behind the scenes, and have made a significant difference to the quality of the scouting program in Elm Fork District. Thank you for all of your hard work. Please join me now in a round of applause for all of their hard work and efforts. Our district commissioner, Mark Avery, is not able to attend tonight due to an important family need. They would appreciate if we can keep them in our thoughts and prayers. I spoke with Mark today and all is well, but please pray for their speedy and continued recovery. Tonight, Joel Austenbrook will be providing our commissioner remarks.
Thanks, Carl. Many people may ask, what is a commissioner? Let me explain what commissioners do and where we fit in scouting this way. A district commissioner, the district commissioner, works side by side with the district committee, which is responsible for district infrastructure and specific programs. The advancement committee puts on our Eagle boards of review, and so on. The responsibilities of the commissioner staff are completely different. A commissioner is not responsible for a particular program area. We are more generalists with a mission to help individual packs, troops, crews, and ships to succeed. A commissioner can be compared to a mentor or a coach or a resource or a liaison with the district. We get to know the individual units and try to give them any help that they need. It could be help resolving an issue with the unit, or getting them information about activities, or helping judge the cars at a Pinewood Derby. That's one of my favorites. And reminding some of them that they still have issues with their recharter. We had a pretty good year with our commissioner staff. Compared to 2023, we logged more visits with the units, which means that you saw or heard from us, and we have set goals, which hopefully means you'll see more of us in 2025. Currently, we have 63 units in the Elm Fork District and 17 unit commissioners. I'd like to ask each of the unit commissioners that are here this evening to stand so we can recognize them. All right. And a final note from Mark. You've heard a lot about the district committee and the commissioner staff and what we do. If you'd like to help or are just curious, grab one of the folks who just stood up and ask them, how can I help? This is a very special moment for the commissioner staff. We celebrate an achievement of one of our members. It is great pleasure. It is with great pleasure and pride that we gather to recognize a remarkable individual who has dedicated countless hours not only to her own personal growth, but also to the growth and success of others within our scouting family. This individual has gone above and beyond in her service to scouting, embodying the values of leadership, commitment, and continuous improvement. Today, we are here to present the Doctorate of Commissioner Science to Anila Modi.
Thank you so very much.
Stand here and let me say good things about you. This prestigious award recognizes those who have demonstrated a deep dedication to the principles of commissioner science. To earn this honor, one must complete a rigorous training program, contribute significantly to the training and development of others, and consistently work toward improving service to scouting units. Anila has not only completed 24 courses in the Commissioner Science, but has also served as an instructor to help train the next generation of commissioners. She has received both the Commissioner Key and the Arrowhead Award, and most impressively, she has served as a commissioner for over 3 years, making a lasting impact on our community. But what really sets her apart is her thesis. Anila's thesis, titled Understanding the Causes of Burnout and Step Down Among Scout Leaders, addresses a critical issue that many of us in leadership positions are all too familiar with. Her research sheds light on the challenges faced by our leaders and offers valuable insights into how we can support and retain the talented individuals who are so vital to the success of our organization. Please join me in congratulating Anila for her outstanding achievement and dedication to scouting. Anila, it is with great honor that I present you the Doctor of Commissioner Science Not Award. Congratulations.
We're now ready to continue our Elm Fork District tradition of recognizing leaders in our district that have made special contributions to scouting. These honors are initiated at the unit level through nominations to the District Award Committee. Our 2024 Awards Committee was comprised of Kyle Hare, David Marchus, Joel Austinbrook, Frank Cole, and a host of other district leaders. Erica Dean and Carl Wood will now present this year's Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting for packs, troops, and crews.
This is the 31st year that we have presented the Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting Award. The recipients for this award are determined at the unit level by each individual pack, troop, or crew. It is usually, though not always, presented to not more than one person in a unit each year. The recipient does not have to serve in any specific capacity in the unit, but is recognized for embodying the ideal of going the extra mile, sometimes behind the scenes, to ensure that Scouting's promise to youth is fulfilled. Each unit is responsible for selecting their Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting Award recipients based on their own selection and procedures. As each recipient's name is called, please come up to the front to be recognized for your award. Please remain at the front until all Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting recipients have come forward and we have taken pictures. Some of our recipients cannot be with us tonight, but we will still want to recognize their service. Please hold your applause until all recipients have been announced. And the names are in order by unit type, then unit number, and finally last name. Our Cub Scout, Scouts BSA, and Venturing Crew unit leaders who received the Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting Award for 2024 are.
Thank you. Pack 110, Jen Wilder. Pack 114, Danny Farmer. Pack 712, Aaron Collins and Catherine, and I know I'm going to mess this, Click. Pack 715, Tracy Piccola Norris. Pack 715, Ashley Norris. Pack 749, Daniel Kemp and Nick Walker. Pack 755, Faraz Mahani, Suleiman, thank you, Sadiq Mathia. Pack 838, Jay Klisnick and Chris Lemming. Pack 900, Aaron Shaw and Jared Johnson. Pack 1213, Richard Ray and Harvey Vescola. Troop 577, Wendy Oglesby. Troop 553 Boys, Victor Lordoff. Troop 553 Girls. There's 753 girls, sorry. Chujin Lin. Troop 758. Aslil. Please excuse my pronunciations. Mutani. Akbar. Ibrahim. And Saram Kokwani. Thank you. Troop 800, Arlen Pruitt. Troop 838, Joseph Miser and Mark Koslow. Troop 2119, Aaron Stewart.
Let's have a nice round of applause for our 2024 Elm Fork Spirit of Scouting recipients.
You may have a seat.
The Acela, Polaris, and Alps Awards are presented by Elm Fork District to honor outstanding Cub Scout, Scouts BSA, and venturing volunteers who have stepped up and volunteered on a district level. These individuals are accomplished leaders who give far more than their time and talent that is required in their primary role of scouting. They've demonstrated the highest levels of leadership and guidance to their unit, to the district, and to the scouting program. Nominations for the Acela, Polaris, and Alps Awards can come from units, from the commissioner's staff, or from the district committee. The criteria considered are the following. The leader must have demonstrated noteworthy service to scouting beyond the expectations of his or her position on a district level. This service must have been demonstrated over a considerable period of time, and it must have affected the scouting program in a large number of scouts. Preference is given to those leaders whose service extends beyond the limits of their unit. Saul Friedenberg will now present the Elm Fork District Acela Awards for 2024.
For the Acela Awards, as your name is called up, please come up forward, receive the award. Please remain up front until all Acela Award recipients have come forward and have pictures taken. The Acela Award recognizes outstanding contributions and service by an adult volunteer to the Cub Scout programming in the Elm Fork District. Pack 114, Beth Sieber. Pack 114, Chris Sieber. Pack 114, Chris Robin Hood Weldon. Pack 900, Miguel Rivas. And Pack 1213, Erica Dean.
Joel Ostenbrook will now present the Elm Fork District Polaris Awards for 2024.
For our Polaris Awards, as I call your name, please come up to the front and receive your award. And please remain at the front until all Polaris Award recipients have come forward and we have taken pictures. The Polaris Award recognizes outstanding contributions and service by adult volunteers to the Scouts BSA program in the Elm Fork District. And we'd like to recognize the following. Troop 753B, Patrick Estes. Troop 758, Zane Lakhani. Troop 838, Andrew Moyer. Troop 876, Erica Shields. Troop 876, Clay Bonner. Troop 876, Erica Dean. You may now return to your seats. Thank you.
David Marchus will now present the Elm Fork District ALPS Award for 2024.
For our ALPS Award, as we call your name, please come up to the front and receive your award. Please remain at the front until all ALPS Award recipients have come forward and we have taken pictures. The ALPS Award recognizes outstanding contributions and service by adult volunteers to the venturing program in the Elm Fork District. Crew 425, Clayton Ware and Kelly Ware. Crew 713, Stephen Bristow. Crew 759, Steve and Teresa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, whoops.
Just kidding. Doctor?
Another one? Another one?
Another one? Sorry.
There you go.
Here you are, sir. Thank you. I'm not doing my job very well. Let me get out of there.
Our Eagle class of 2024 will now be presented by Malik Nathani, our District Advancement Chair.
Okay, in a few minutes, we will be recognizing the scouts who attained the rank of Eagle during 2024. Thank you. Thanks. Would the 2024 Eagle Scouts please line up along the wall on this side, and we'll ask you to come up in a moment. All the Eagle Scouts of 2024, please line up here. There are not too many here, I understand. So, the Eagle Scouts. Just line up on this side, please. Okay. As scouters, we have hopes that each scout will achieve their potential. Only about 5 to 6% of all these scouts will ever achieve the rank of Eagle. But while we celebrate their accomplishment at the Scouts BSL level, for many, their journey began as a Cub Scouts. We have an incredibly active Cub Scouts program in Elm Fork District. These are the future Eagle Scouts of our district. In the Scouts BSF program, Scouts earn many merit badges and rank advancement, including Eagle rank. On behalf of the district and youth we serve, I'd like to thank every volunteer that participated in the program this year. Because of you, Scouting is alive and well. We would like now to recognize the Elm Fork District Eagle Scouts of 2024. They're all some of the finest youth in the country. They possess among them the skills to be leaders. They have served as a senior patrol leaders, high adventure crew leaders, and troop guides. Through their efforts, the community comprising Elm Fork District have benefited greatly. Our parks were improved, our educational facilities were improved, our environmental was safeguarded, our leisure activity were enhanced. They are the extraordinary group, all 100 of them. With the 2024 Eagle Scouts, each please come up and on your way to Scout to here, briefly say your name, your unit number, and brief description of your project.
I'm Jack Udovich. I'm Troop 713, and for my Eagle project, I helped fix a shed at a preschool I went to.
I'm Joel Zafirio from Troop 713, and my Eagle project was restoring the altar at my church.
My name is Rehan Ibrahim, Troop 758, and my Eagle project was painting corporal lines at Imagine International.
My name is Ayan Parpia. I'm from Troop 758, and I built 2 bookshelves for a mosque.
My name's Skylar Green. I'm from Troop 713, and my Eagle project was marking unmarked graves at the Keenan Cemetery.
My name's Shayan Modi. I'm from Troop 758, and for my Eagle project, I built tray holders for a local religious center.
My name is William Child. I'm from Troop 838, and my Eagle project was helping restore an outdoor recreational center at a school.
My name is William Howell. I'm from Troop 718, and I made outdoor raised garden beds for a local elementary.
My name is Ayan Ali. I'm from Troop 758, and for my Eagle project, I implemented the Sevadari app for seniors wishing to attend our religious center. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for 2024 Eagle Scouts class of Elm Fork District. So may I ask the Scouts to please stay till we take some pictures. All of us who have participated in the Scouting understand the vital role of supportive parents and Scout leaders along the pathway to Eagle. After recognizing our 2024 Eagles, I would like to also take a moment to recognize the parents and leaders of those who earned the rank of Eagle. Would the parents of Scouts earning the rank of Eagle during 2024 please stand and remain standing. Now, with all the parents of Eagle Scouts, regardless of the year the rank was earned, please stand and remain standing. And finally, would all leaders from units who had a Scout advance to Eagle during 2024. Also, please stand. Okay, thank you to each of you for your contribution to the success of the Scouts we have recognized tonight. Please be seated. Each year, the Elm Fork District selects one Eagle project that stands out from the rest as Eagle projects of the year. Some of the criteria, selection criteria, extent and character of leadership provided by the Scout, level of skill employed to complete the project, originality of the project, project impact on the beneficiary and/or on the community at large. And this year, Ayan Ali of Troop 758 Eagle Project stood the most. Ayan, would you please come forward and talk about your project?
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Malik, sir, for recognizing me. So we can start off. My name is Ayan Ali, and I'm from Troop 758 in Carrollton. And today I'll be talking about my Eagle project, which was nominated as the District Eagle Project of the Year. Next slide, please. So for a quick project overview, I saw my grandmother having some challenges. She was trying to go to our religious center on a consistent basis, but she was really having a challenge trying to get rides. So for my Eagle project, I launched the Sevadari app, and this app connects volunteers drivers with seniors who wish to attend religious ceremonies. And the reason this app is named Sevadari is because Sevadari means someone who serves. So going into the context of why this was an important issue in my community, most of these seniors have lived in Pakistan and India for the majority of their lives, where they were able to walk to the religious center on a consistent basis. But now after coming to the US, they live much farther away from the religious center, and due to the busy lives of their children, they're not able to get rides as often. And previously, before my project, there was a lack of communication between people who are going to the religious center and also the seniors, and therefore the two never connected to rideshare. Next slide, please. So there are actually two apps that have been implemented. They're called Sevadari and Sevadari Volunteer. Sevadari is for seniors and people who wish to go to the religious center, and Sevadari Volunteer is for the drivers who are picking up and dropping off the seniors. Next slide, please. So the project steps, first was the initialization in August of 2023, and this is where I discovered the app. I talked to the app creator about what his outlook was, and I also started the initial research and search for project volunteers who were willing to help me until the end. The second step was outreach, and this is where we sent out forms and marketing materials to seniors and adults, and we collected information for those who responded that they were interested. And then in December of 2023, we started training, and here we taught the seniors how to create the rides and how to schedule them, and we taught volunteers how to accept or decline the rides. Next was marketing, in which our team passed around flyers on Friday nights. This is like our busiest night at our religious center. And then finally, the app was implemented in February of 2024, and the same project team helped to troubleshoot any issues that came up with the app. So this is our seniors training. So I made a basic Google slideshow and presented it to the seniors at one of the weekly senior sessions at our religious center. And here you can see I'm presenting how to schedule a ride, how to set times and set the date. Obviously, it was a technological barrier for the seniors to understand this app and just using technology in general, as they've been like old-fashioned for most of their life. And then this is a picture of all the seniors we trained. Many more were trained, but this was that specific day. And then for the volunteer drivers, we had a similar format for the Google Slides, but instead we held it on Zoom just to make it more convenient for everyone and to make sure we could get the most number of people. And so some people we also train in person. It was also convenient to train them in person because just as we saw them, we could 5 to 10 minutes just show them some basic steps and how to use the app. And then for the marketing, we passed around these 2 flyers around our religious center. One is for the seniors and one is for the volunteers, and they have the QR codes for both the apps. And so this was one of my friends in my troop, and he and I worked around to market this and pass around all the flyers. And then this was our project team that was helping to troubleshoot all the issues that, there were not that many, but any of the issues that came up for either the seniors or the volunteers, they could come here and get some help. And then this was me passing on my app control to an admin. So some key project stats. This app was implemented in my religious center on February 1st of 2024. And so far we have 20 volunteers, more than 25 seniors being helped, around 245 to 250 rides per month, and over 2,900 total rides. And by the end of this month, we'll reach 3,000. So some challenges I faced along the way. First off, it was difficult to find volunteers. Obviously, this was a very lengthy and extensive project, and it was also difficult to involve youth because of the language barrier between the youth and the seniors. The second thing that was difficult was deciding what I would keep for myself and also keeping myself up to date on all the different parts of the project, since it was a very wide and extensive project. And the last big challenge was marketing to volunteer drivers. It's like a big time commitment for volunteer drivers to bring the seniors to the religious center. And now we'll hear from some of the seniors and volunteers whose lives have been changed through the app.
मेरे लिए तो सेवादारी की इतनी आसानी हुई है कि मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती। मैं रोज दुआ मांगती हूँ सुबह कि मौला इसको कभी बंद नहीं होने देना, और हमारे इतने और मेंबर्स हैं जो आना चाहते हैं, इसमें अच्छे मेंबरों का और इजाफा करो ताकि और लोग जमात खाने आ सके, मेरे जैसे जो जमात खाने नहीं पहुँच सके।
I am very happy that this Sevadari services has been started in our Plano Jamaat Khana, and because of this I am able to go to my prayers regularly, and in that way I do socialize with people too, and I pray for all the volunteers who gives these services to all the seniors.
हम लोग को सुबह शाम जमात खाने जाने का मिलता है। वॉलंटियर बहुत अच्छी सेवा कर देते हैं, तो हम लोग को जमात खाने बराबर टाइम पर पहुंच जाते हैं, अने कभी मना नहीं करते हैं, अने हम लोग को दुआ अने बंदगी सवार सांझ बराबर टाइम पर मिल जाती है।
I'm very grateful to be part of Sevadari team and to be able to give rides to our senior citizen members. They give us a lot of blessings, and they feel very happy, and we feel very happy at the same time. Thank you.
I'm so blessed to be able to do this ride opportunity. Seniors get so happy that they are able to come to Jamaat Khana, do their prayers, and every time when I bring them in and when I take them home, they give lots of blessings. So that is a good plus for me. I love doing this, and hopefully, inshallah, I'll continue to be doing this.
And lastly, I want to give a special thanks to the app creator, Sunil Mehdi, the current app admin, Maqsood Ali, my dad, and all the adult projects and youth project helpers that helped me throughout the project process. And I also want to give a special thanks to all the volunteer drivers who participated and my troop leaders for helping to make this project successful. And I also want to thank Elm Fork District for recognizing me for this project. So thank you so much for listening to me talk about my project, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Christian Jones will now recognize the 2025 officers for the Elm Fork District.
All right.
We're gonna get it fixed by the time it's over.
All right, so I will now introduce the Elm Fork District Committee officers for 2025. All right, as each individual is introduced, please stand so that everyone will know who you are. All right, and a lot of these people, the great thing is that a lot of these people are the same people who have recommitted for 2025, who were helping out in 2024. So of course, myself, Christian Jones, our district chair, Carl Motter, our district vice chair, Jay Smith, our district commissioner, Mark Avery, our assistant district commissioner, Carolyn Lane, our roundtable commissioner, Carl Wood, our nominating chair, Nancy Burke, our activities chair, Michael Johnson, our advancement chair, Mark Westerman, our Eagle advisor, Malik Nathani, our training chair, Anila Modi, our day camp chair, David Marcus, our day camp program chair, Carolyn Lane, our membership chair, April Rivas, our FOS finance chair, Colin McNeese, our family FOS chair, Renee Jansen, our communications chair, Kyle Hare in the back, our OA chapter advisor, Kyle Hare, once again in the back, and our OA chapter chief, Shiva Godarzi. Yeah. All right. Thank you each for your willingness to serve on the district committee. Your job as an officer of the Elm Fork District is not only important to the success of the district as a whole, but it influences the success of the individual packs, troops, crews, and ships that our district supports. Now, for the 2025 year, with those who are serving on any of these district committees under these operating chairs or as members at large of the district committee, please stand. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Elm Fork District officers and committee for 2025. Give them a round of applause. All right, thank you.
Kyle Hare will now recognize our outstanding outgoing officer for 2024.
So back in 2022, the idea was started that we should have a new tradition of giving a walking stick, which I don't see one here yet, but I'm sure we will have one for him, to an outstanding district officer that is stepping down from their role. This scouter has done amazing work as our district's communications chair prior to my taking over the role and has continued to mentor me when I took over the role. I know Robert Rocher is not here, but we will make sure to get his walking stick to him.
I'm going to now ask Christian Jones to come back up and install the 2025 officers and advisors for the Pechan chapter of the OA.
I will now introduce the Pechan Ozate chapter officers and advisors for 2025. As each individual is introduced, please come to the front here so that we may induct you. All right, our chapter chief, Shive Godarzi. Our vice chief of inductions, Allison Thompson. Our vice chief of program, Santiago Ortiz Monasterio. Our chapter advisor, Kyle Hare. All right, you're gonna stay in the back? All right. Our unit elections advisor, Steve Bristow. And our brotherhood advisor, Howard Gurnis. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for your willingness to serve as a Pechon Ozate chapter officer or advisor. Your job as an officer or advisor of the Pechon Ozate is not only important to the success of the district as a whole, but it influences the successes of our individual packs, troops, crews, and posts that the chapter and district supports. First, we will induct our chapter chief, Shive Godarzi. Shive, if you could please raise your scout sign and repeat after me. I do hereby promise on my honor.
I do hereby promise on my honor.
As a scout and a member of the Order of the Arrow.
As a scout and the member of the Order of the Arrow.
To faithfully execute the duties and responsibilities.
To faithfully execute the duties and the responsibilities.
Of chapter chief of Pechon Ozate chapter.
Of chapter chief of Pechon Ozate chapter.
Mikanakwa Lodge, Circle 10 Council, Boy Scouts of America.
Mikanakwa Lodge, Circle 10 Council, Boy Scouts of America.
I will uphold the customs and traditions.
I will uphold the customs and traditions.
Of the Pechon Ozate chapter.
Of the Pechon Ozate chapter.
Mikanakwa Lodge and the Order of the Arrow.
Mikanakwa Lodge and the Order of the Arrow.
I will provide leadership and service to my brothers and sisters. Oh, you're good.
I will provide leadership to my brothers and sisters.
To the best of my abilities.
To the best of my abilities.
I will be ever mindful of the Scout Oath and Law.
I will be ever mindful of the Scout Oath and the law.
To these high ideals, I pledge my sacred honor.
To these high ideals, I pledge my sacred honor.
All right, 2. All right, and here's your chapter chief. All right. Skip it. Okay. Skip it entirely? Entirely? All right. No problem. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our Pechon Ozate officers and advisors for 2025. Yeah, yeah.
Where do you think you're escaping to so quickly? You're up. So, this was a last minute drop-in. We have a couple announcements to make, and Shiva is going to make them.
Yes, I am. Hello, good evening. So, my name is Shiva Godarzi, as you can hear it here. So, tonight, first off, we're going to mention our award that we received at the Lodge dinner. Our Keith and Markle Nathan Camp Promotions Award for Pechon Ozate. So on my understanding is that we promote the most.
We had the most units attend summer camp in the council, our district did.
Woo woo!
No, that's just summer camp. Now she has something else to talk about.
Okay, so as it was shown on the screens, but our spring camporee on March 28th to the 30th. So far, it is looking like I am the lead for this camporee, and our theme for it is going to be Spartan Games. So Ooh, impressive, right? I know. Don't mention it. So, the troops, I've already been emailing. I've been talking to them, but you do. Oh, hi. You do have my email and my contact information. I would love everyone's input in on this. I am currently the only one working on this. We will plan to have our camporine meetings. I would really love if everyone could come and help and staff out, because this is a really great experience that we're going to share with these younger scouts and some of these crews. And we're trying to make it scout-led as it is, so if you have any ideas for games or even like another theme, please let me know. I do not bite, I promise. I'm very nice. It's so weird seeing me up on there. But that is all I have. If you have our little pamphlet of all the chapter chiefs, my contact information is in there. Just make sure you include another adult, if it is another adult texting. But that is all I have. Thank you for listening and thank you for being here.
This time I'd like to ask Anila Modi to come up. She's got a presentation for a scout leader that is getting a special recognition.
Okay, late Faraz Meghani began his journey with scouting when he joined as a troop leader in 2011. During his tenure, he took on the responsibilities of troop committee chair, where he demonstrated exceptional leadership and commitment. He successfully completed his wood-based training, an important milestone that emphasized leadership skills and principles of scouting. In 2021, following the arrival of his son into the program as a Tiger Scout, Faraz expanded his involvement by stepping into the role of Den leader. He quickly distinguished himself as an outstanding Den leader, passionately engaging with the scouts and fostering a spirit of camaraderie and learning. He demonstrated unwavering dedication by attending all 5 days of toilet camp in 2021, where he contributed his time and effort to ensure meaningful experience for the scouts. Recognizing the importance of STEM education in scouting, Faraz took on the additional role of NOVA counselor in 2022. In this capacity, he worked closely with our technology chair to complete and make all NOVA-related data accessible to our PAC. This initiative significantly enhanced the educational resources available to the scouts. Faraz's absence is felt deeply within our scouting community. His contribution went beyond more participation. He was a mentor, a helper, and a source of inspiration for many. The impact he made to our PAC and wider scouting community immensely, and we will be greatly miss Powell. Okay, may I request Faraz's wife, Rosina, and his son, Ishan, to please come forward.
Thank you, everybody, for your understanding and patience. This is something that we're going to add in the coming years, is basically a fall-in recognition for the leaders that have passed in the prior year that made significant impacts on the units and troops in the district that didn't necessarily receive a specific award. And so this was a last-minute addition, so I appreciate your understanding while we were working through the logistics of getting this slotted in on the script. At this point, I'm going to ask Carl Woods to now come up and present the Elm Fork District Servant Leadership Award for 2024.
The Servant Leadership Award recognizes outstanding contributions and service by an adult or volunteers to the scouting program of Elm Fork District. The qualifications of the Servant Leadership Award included but are not limited to a registered adult leader who exemplifies the ideals of Baden-Powell's trained leader, has completed Wood Badge, exemplifies what it means to be a servant leader, a scouter who takes training beyond their position and requirements, may be given for service at unit, district, council for 2 or more years. Each recipient's unit name is called, please come to the front to be recognized for your award. Please remain at the front until all Elm Fork Servant Leadership recipients have come forward and we have taken pictures. Some of our recipients are not with us tonight, but we'll still want to recognize them. Please hold your applause until all recipients have been announced and the names are in order by unit type, then unit, finally last name. Troop 758, Nadali Lalani. Troop 800, Larry Stevens. Troop 2119, Nicole Johnson. District Commissioner, Mark Avery. Let's have a nice round of applause. Thank you for your service.
Joel Ostenberg will now present the Elm Fork District Nikki Rourke Memorial Spirit Award for 2024.
The Nikki Rourke Memorial Scouter Spirit Award is intended to recognize one member in the Elm Fork District that personifies many of the attributes demonstrated by Nikki during her time of service. Some of these attributes include passion for life and scouting, enthusiasm to be involved, willingness to volunteer, willingness to help train others, and a willingness to go above and beyond what is expected for a given role. The award committee will accept nominations as is done for the other district level awards. This award was created in 2019 as a way to honor Nikki Rourke Locke, an adult scouter who passed away during a scout trip to Northern Tier. Nikki volunteered at unit, district, and council levels and was very passionate about the scout program. This award may be given for service in training at a unit or district level, demonstrates a passion for life and scouting, willing to volunteer, train, and help others, has shown a willingness to go above and beyond what is expected, and should be a registered adult leader serving at least 2 years. The individual that we are recognizing this evening has not only attended Wood Badge, but has also returned to Stafford as well, as supported the district and his units by presenting training. In addition to helping with training, this individual has also led one of our district's premier fundraising opportunity for scouts, Popcorn. Finally, this individual and Nikki knew each other, and we believe that she would agree that this person is deserving of this award. Our district Popcorn Colonel, Saul Friedenberg.
Frank Cole will now present the Elm Fork District Award of Merit for 2024.
Thank you, Carl. Hey, it's the last award, and I think we got the microphone working. It's perfect. I also want to point out, because I know it's not in Carl's script, if you're from one of the units where one of the recipients was not here tonight, we'd appreciate it if you'd take it home with you, give it to your committee chairman, and they will find an appropriate time to recognize your leaders. But we would like you to take these with you so we don't have to follow up. All right. The District Court Award of Merit. First, I'd like to ask all past recipients of the District Court Award of Merit to please come forward and stand with me right here. It may seem like a lot. We've been around a long time. My troop alone is having its 60th anniversary this November. So we've been doing scouting a long time, and this not only represents Elm Fork, but the North District and North Trail, and we have evolved over time, and a lot of these people have been around longer than me, which is amazing. It is the highest award a district can bestow upon one of its volunteers, and is given to recognize outstanding district level service. The award is a council-approved level award, and recommendations come from our district committee, and is very similar to the Silver Beaver, where someone on national has to give final approval. The number of awards is limited by the number of people in the district and active scouts at that time. Our first individual tonight has taken Wood Badge, earned both a Scouters Religious as well as Scouters Training Award. She has served on several district Eagle boards in addition to mentoring many Eagles through their Eagle journey. She has taught at multiple trainings and served as a merit badge counselor, and even taught a badge to some scouts from states who were not in Texas. She also served on the district committee for several years. Samina Jawani, please come forward. Our next individual is an Eagle Scout who has taken Wood Badge, earned the Scouter's Key, as well as awards too numerous to list at this time. He has served on District Activities Committee, taken the lead on several recent events, and has also helped to reestablish one of our crews that was struggling, as well as done amazing work at both the Cub Scout and Scout BSA level program. His father also previously earned this award. Davis Marcus IV, please come forward. Where do we begin with our final individual? This person has been part of scouting for a very long time. So long that she has completed Wood Badge, is a Vigil Honor member of the Order of the Arrow, and has earned so many awards that we simply wouldn't have time to cover them all. Currently, this individual now serves on the Council Range and Targets Activity Committee, but don't let that fool you. She has served in many roles, including several of the district positions you've heard about earlier this evening, and is long overdue to receive this award. My favorite range safety officer, Sharon Gurnis.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, your past and current District Award of Merit recipients, thank you all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Congratulations.
Well done. Stop time, right?
All right, everyone. Now's the time that we've all been waiting for, my Scoutmaster Minute. So fortunately, I shortened my planned speech quite a bit. My good friend Kevin covered a lot of the points that I was going to discuss tonight. But when I was really thinking about what I was going to say, I was really looking for guidance with someone that really has gone through a lot of the things that we have done in our scouting journey, faced a lot of the same challenges, actually many more so, and one of the people that I drew a lot of inspiration from when I became a newly minted uniform-wearing adult scout leader, Lord Baden-Powell. At one point, our scouts had a colored history of doing a reenactment of Lord Baden-Powell's Relief of Mafeking. In short story, for those of you who may not know the backstory, Lord Baden-Powell's the founder of scouting as we know it, and he was serving as a officer in Africa during a war, and the town that he was in got surrounded by the opposing forces, and he stayed to offer aid until relief came from the town. The history that I read was that they at some point had enough force that they could have left the area and left the city behind and escaped this siege, but they chose not to. And one of the things I was really impressed with what Lord Baden-Powell did was his ingenuity to utilize what was at hand to stay and continue to keep the city intact and to provide that strength and structure to keep the opposing forces from coming in. And the reason why this kind of inspired me is, in reflecting on where are we going in the future, we at times feel like we do live in troubled times, and the future's not as clear as maybe we would like it to be. Are we going to get past this hard time? Are we really ready and equipped to handle what's facing us? And as Kevin said, yes, in many ways we have great leaders that we're training to keep us forward, but what brings us that resolution to continue to face uncertainty with a positive outlook? And so Lord Baden-Powell, in his book, Yarns for Boy Scouts, in 1909, he wrote a story called A Story of a Boat Hook. And I'm just going to read it real quick. I remember how our sailing boat, we ran on some rocks one day in a rather nasty little sea. And as the boat heeled over and rolled about, I thought all was up for us. And I huddled down helplessly, waiting to see what was to happen. I was quite prepared, like the frog in the milk, to give up all efforts to save myself. Just then, a boat hook, which had become dislodged, slipped and fell overboard in the sea, and I was thinking how soon I was probably to follow it, when I was suddenly recalled to life by a string of remarks from my eldest brother, who was in command, abusing me for sitting by and letting the boat hook go overboard and telling me to grab a hold of it before it floated out of reach, which I quickly did. I then saw that if he was so mightily particular about saving an old boat hook, that at that juncture there might be some hope for our saving ourselves. So I bucked up and set to work to help others. In the end, we got off safe and sound. But that lesson of the boat hook has been one of the greatest uses to me many a time since, in tight places when things were looking bad. I've remembered that then was the time to wake up and work extra hard and not give in. And if people round about were looking glum and nervous, the thing was to suggest some little small thing to think about and to carry out to remind them that matters were not so hopeless after all. For instance, in the case of an unpleasantly strong attack by the enemy, when some people were beginning to think that things looked bad for us, it came in useful to sing out, "Where's the cook? Isn't it about time we had breakfast?" And that seemed to set them all right again and to give them heart to carry on. So in these troubling times, let's not look glum and upset. Let's find a way to encourage others to keep on, to find a way to overlook kind of the troubles that are right in front of us, because many have done that in the past, and we stand here thanks to them who took the time to carry on and to find a way to make things work out all right. This concludes our 2024 Elm Fork Scout Leader and Eagle Appreciation Dinner. We thank you again on behalf of the youth of our community for your selfless service to them. As you lead tonight, know that you make a difference. It may not be obvious from one day to the next, but rest assured that when the youth in your program grow up to be adults and that they look back at the experience that you helped provide, many of them will appreciate the positive difference that you made in their lives. Congratulations to all of our award recipients. It's good to gather from time to time for fellowship and to recognize the service of our friends. I appreciate you being here to share that experience, and I'm personally honored to serve with so many good and dedicated people. We will now retire the colors, and when we are adjourned, if you still have one more good turn in you tonight, we would appreciate your help in cleanup. Please stand. Three coats. Return to post. Two. Group dismissed.